Good evening, everyone, and welcome to this edition of the Primetime Newscast in the English language on Canal International. I'm called Maureen. We'll begin with our top stories. Authorities in the littoral region have assured the population of a hitch-free festivities this end of year. The assurance was made during an administrative coordination meeting held in Douala under the auspices of Littoral Governor Samuel Jodene Ivaha Dibois. And 72 hours to Christmas, the population of Douala has apparently swollen in size, with lots of people streaming from other towns for business. This has led to unbearable traffic holdups, with cars queuing for hours on the same spot. Those are major stories. Details right ahead. Good evening once more. The population or the governor of the littoral region have assured the population of hitch-free festivities this end of year. The assurance was made during an administrative coordination meeting under the auspices of Littoral Governor Samuel Jodene Ivaha Dibois. More on the story with our reporter Gladys Ambo Tiba.
The town of Douala has in the past few weeks been characterized by insecurity, but administrative and security officials have taken the commitment to ensure the population of Douala and the littoral region at large enjoy end-of-year festivities hitch-free.
So globally, we can say that our region is well secured. We have taken measures before the Christmas Eve and the one of New Year. And within this feast, you can say that our soldiers, gendarmes, and military people are working on the field. Even the DOs and the SDOs are also on the field to make sure that everybody has to be secured within these events of Christmas and New Year.
During this administrative coordination and operational security committee meeting in Douala, December 21, 2022, authorities made an assessment of the security situation in Douala within the last 6 months.
The first one is to see how politics is going on in this littoral region. The second one we will tackle with socio-economical issues. The third one can be seen as the one of securing people.
The situation of internally displaced persons in Douala also preoccupied the authorities.
Meantime, the commander of the 2nd Gendarmerie Legion says Douala is under control during this festive period. He was speaking during an evaluation meeting aimed at reviewing ongoing security controls during the Douala along the Douala-Bangui-Douala-Jamina corridor. More in the following story. Last November, 700 trucks were blocked in Guna in the North region, thus exposing the crucial problem of constant harassment by security officers. The gendarmerie is disturbed by this growing problem that affects fluidity along the Douala-Bangui-Douala-Jamina corridor. All this begins in Cameroon's economic city.
Last week, there was a meeting that was held in Yaoundé by the Secretary of State for the National Gendarmerie with regards to the security on our highways.
According to the commander of the 2nd Gendarmerie Legion, Brigadier General Ekongwese Divine Noko, security measures have been reinforced on different corridors with a reduction in road checks.
We are reducing the number, and actually we started doing this since last week. To make sure that the population knows that there's something happening. There are measures that are taken by our hierarchy and ourselves and that are being implemented.
The consultations with road transport workers and employers in Cameroon aims to examine and evaluate with the actors concerned and recommendations taken by the Secretariat of the National Gendarmerie following the protest led by 700 truck drivers in Guna in the north last November.
Another resolution that we have taken is to make sure that we deploy our officers to do the controls on all the highways.
In the public transport sector, the transporters agreed on the effective implementation of some recommendations, among them the technical inspection of vehicles, respect of speeds, to name but these few. 72 hours to Christmas, the population of Douala has apparently swollen, with people streaming from other towns or just for business. This has led to unbearable traffic hold-ups, with cars queuing for hours on the same spot. Pedestrians and motorbike riders have invaded the public road. The flow is dense to be controlled by the traffic police. More on the story with our reporter, Tale Sherifa.
Few days to the celebration of Christmas in Douala, streets and markets are congested by cars, motorbikes and pedestrians. Getting around has become very difficult. I'm conscious that during this period, we are always faced to this situation and we have no choice, especially at the level of the central market. It's really difficult. As you can see, I as a pedestrian, I find a lot of difficulty to move around. It is a rush moment as people are struggling to catch up with time. The phenomenon is witnessed all over Douala, in particular Mbopi, Douche Municipal and major junctions like Ferouche Besenge. Lately, it has been really hectic for me to get to my job site. I have to spend 2 hours before getting there. It really affects us, the vehicle owners, but we have no choice than to cope with it and accept. On this eve of the end-of-year celebrations, motorcycle seems to be the most popular means of transport to save time, as many people have parked their cars in this crowd. The weakest are walked upon. Forces of the law and order on their part are struggling to contain the flow.
As you heard in that report, we are barely counting days to the Feast of Nativity, and chicken is one of the protein foods most solicited by parents, especially for children. The prices of table birds this year leaves much to be desired. Our reporter Utmul Kusomi has been talking with some parents in different markets in the nation's political capital, Yaoundé. Her story.
Here we are at the Mokolo market. People going up and down in search of table birds. They are supposed to prepare chicken on the Feast of Nativity, but due to the high prices and scarcity, doing so will be very difficult. There is table birds for 12,000, 8,000 francs CFA, and when I see myself buying 2 table birds to though life not easy for many, with the increase in prices of basic necessities and high living standards, they are faced with no other choice than to resort to alternatives. I prefer to go in for fish or even meat. The traditional Christmas celebrants are still very determined. The prices of chicken notwithstanding, it must be part of the Christmas meal. Table bird is scarce in the market, but it doesn't mean we will celebrate without chicken. There will always be chicken. Many customers are optimistic, hoping that price might reduce as the days draw near.
Farmers and livestock breeders in the central region are exhibiting and selling their produce in a mini fair aimed at boosting food supply during this festive period. The 3-day fair at the Esplanade of the Yaoundé Municipal Stadium was officially opened by the central governor. More on the story with our reporter, Beatrice Ngamu.
Farmers from the 10 divisions that make up the central region have transformed the Esplanade of the Yaoundé Municipal Stadium into a big Christmas market, an open invitation to the inhabitants of the capital city Yaoundé to enjoy all what they need as food supplies: yam, plantain, cocoyam, sweet potatoes, fresh corn, palm fruits, palm oil, green and white pepper, egusi, granite, vegetables, fruits, green spices also available, including livestock. All for Christmas celebration like end of year feast as far as provisions are concerned this year. From the Fundi, Nyong and Fumo, Nyong and Kele, Mefu and Afamba, Leki and the other divisions. The 3-day mini fair was officially opened by the Central Regional Governor Nasiri Paul Bea this December 22nd.
Let them continue to work and let them continue to come and make sure that these people don't go back with their foodstuff which they have brought and they should buy it for the end of year festivities.
Occasion to not only encourage the farmers, but especially the youths to dare into agriculture, they show opportunity for all.
And the board chair of Elections Cameroon, Elekam Eno Abrahams Egbe, has urged all stakeholders of the electoral process to frankly collaborate and enhance Cameroon's democracy as the country prepares for the upcoming senatorial elections in 2023. He was speaking at the Elekam headquarters in Yaoundé this Thursday while chairing the last ordinary session for the year 2022. More on the story with our reporter, Hysen Cha.
Among the key issues to tackle during this fourth and last ordinary session of Elections Cameroon this December 22nd, 2022 is the examining and adoption of the 2023 budget, of the electoral structure and the putting in place of an action plan for the new year, especially with the senatorial elections knocking at the corner. And in his opening statement, Eno Abrahams Egbe noted with satisfaction a successful 2022 with 7,155,065 Cameroonians registered in the electoral list. And to address the shortcomings still hampering the electoral process, Elections Cameroon announces a common platform for all electoral stakeholders.
Another platform will eventually be set up purposely to represent political parties, traditional rulers, civil society, decentralized administrative units, and the media. This platform will serve as a medium to promote experience sharing, inclusive dialogue, and best practices in voter registration and voter education, with a view to safeguarding and ensuring the sustainability of citizens' participation in the electoral process.
This, as the body intensifies international collaboration to better the state of Cameroon democracy.
School in Bonaberry has commemorated once more their lineage through the Kwanzaa celebration. It is an Afro-American party that promotes a love, peace, a sharing, and many other values. The celebration has become a tradition for the American School of Bonaberry in Cameroon's economic city, Douala. On December 17, the students honored this commemoration through African dances, songs, and poems. Saleh Sharifa completes that story.
Kwanzaa is the theme of the event. On stage, the students of the Ace American School of Bonaberry portray the African image through their various presentations. Dressed in African traditional costumes, they dance to the rhythm of African and Afro-American beats. Throughout the show, they paid homage to the heritage and culture of their ancestors. As Africans, there is no difference, as they say. Their main colors are red, green, and black. Red for the bloodshed over the years by grandparents who underwent slavery, green for the African vegetation, and black for the black skin of Africans. These through poems, songs, and sketches.
Don't mind your complexions. There are no rejections.
You are African.
So I don't care where you come from, as long as you're a black man.
You are African.
Don't mind denomination. That is only segregation.
You are African.
From the faces of their parents, one could read satisfaction watching their children going back to their pedigree.
I've been attending this occasion for years now. This is my 5th year attending the occasion, and I was so overwhelmed because every time I come here, it makes me feel that I am an important personality on this earth. Being from Africa is something very important, and I'm an African pride.
This is the 26th year that the American school is celebrating the Kwanzaa, a historic celebration that highlights several values, including sharing and respect.
Kwanzaa comes from a Swahili word mean first fruit. It's a period of the year where once you get your first fruit, you call the community, and then in the spirit of Ubuntu, you share among yourself. As they give to children international standard education, they also make sure that those children have cultural pride.
Dances, songs, poems, sketches, interpretations furnish the Kwanzaa ceremony on December 17, 2022, a satisfaction for the parents who came to discover the talents of their children.
And that brings us to the end of this edition of the Primetime Newscast in the English language on Canal International. Thanks so much for watching. Take another rendezvous, same time tomorrow. Good night.